All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the next interview in Chronometer's interview series. We're here with Francis Williams, an online nutrition and fitness coach based in the UK. And we're going to be talking about nutrition, fitness, and what you can do to really jumpstart your gains over the holiday season. So, Francis, I'll leave the introduction to you. I'd love to know a little bit about what you do, what your background is, and how you progress through the fitness and nutrition coaching industry.
Okay, thanks, Spencer. Hi, guys. As Spencer said, I'm Francis. I'm in the UK. Where did I start off? I started off as a chef, actually.
Oh,
When I was young, I was a chef for like 5 years, and then moved on to sales. Travelled Spain a little bit around Europe. Came to Brighton, and then started to do personal training. And I've done that. Well, I've done that. I'm still a personal trainer now, and I've done that for 8 years. And recently moved over into the nutrition space. So recently got qualified as a nutrition practitioner, nutritionist, and so start of a journey, and it sort of just fitted with what I was doing. I mean, personal training was great, and you could really get people into fitness training programs and build muscle and teach them new stuff, particularly from beginner to intermediate. I've been through that process myself. And it was exciting to learn the new things and get them feeling good and just get them seeing some good results. But then the biggest thing always came down to nutrition and adherence and being able to teach them what it is they need that's going to change their body, because it's never the training. The training is training's the easy bit. So I needed to learn about nutrition. The biggest challenge I found people had was always nutrition. I think what you learn on a personal training course is level 3, and then we have there in Canada, but in UK it's just level 1, 2, 3, and even that's just a real basic understanding and exercise nutrition. So to do the practitioner course, I use a company called Body Type Nutrition, and that sort of takes it to the next level, and it was like you get a deeper understanding of the aspects of it. So now I think it's more of a start. I mean, I spent the last year on the course, recently passed the exam. But now I think it's you can delve so deep into nutrition. There's so much to learn on so many different subjects.
Yeah, it's very complex.
Stuff. And so I'd like to think maybe the next 10, 20 years, who knows? But just get as good as I can. Good at it as I can.
Very cool. Now, how did what kind of chef were you back in the day?
Well, I got up to chef de partie. I was a head chef in a what was it? More like a brasserie style place in this boat harbour yard place. But I think it depends on where you work. I managed to get to got to the Dorchester in Park Lane. Started off in the Crown Plaza, so sort of 4-star hotels. Done the commis chef, demi chef, chef de partie there. Travelled around the UK. A family up north, so I moved around quite a bit from London to up north, and then some in the middle, Cambridge and those ways. Mainly chef de partie.
Cool.
Yeah, sort of like mid-range.
Nice. Well, I'm curious, so how did that affect your kind of philosophy and your approach to nutrition as you kind of got, deeper into that side of things?
Well, back then, I mean, I was quite young. I was 17, so finished up about 24, I think, was the last chef job before I went into sales. So I weren't really aware that I was going to be going into fitness and nutrition at that point. I was always trained, always went to the gym and looked after my health and fitness, but my understanding was pretty basic. Eat chicken and rice, that kind of thing. Have a protein shake, bananas and oats are healthy, but quite a basic understanding. So to delve deeper at this stage later on in life is it's fascinating. I think is I feel like it's only scratched the surface.
I'm curious about, how do you think, when someone is looking at or approaching nutrition for the first time, what should they think about? What kind of things do they need to know?
Well, what I've found with the clients I train with, they come to me and maybe they want to lose weight or build some muscle or just feel better about whether it's been something drastic's happened that makes them want to change. I think the most important thing I try to teach them first is I'll give them an assessment and get an understanding about what they know already and try and sort of just build on that. I try to just base things on flexible dieting or intermittent fasting if it's necessary, but trying to keep it really, really simple. Just tell them over time. I mean, the first sort of week I try not to overload them with information, But then once I get them to understand the basics of just macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, the benefits of them all and why they need them, and just to make sure they're getting it from getting them from good quality sources. If you can get them to be organic, then great. But I mean, if that's not affordable for them, then just choosing whole foods. So just teach them the basics. I mean, for the first, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, I think I always say to people they can get a long way just by exercise, basic nutrition, eating healthy foods, and like 80%, still living a little. Hydration, sleep, relaxation. Just focus on those for now. Don't worry too much about all the science of it. And then as time progresses, just try to sort of give them bits of information. And I think it's when people come up against the challenges, and that's when I sort of troubleshoot and try to educate them or help them with whatever challenges they come to, because some people know more than others. And some people will find it, nearly everybody finds it more difficult than they thought it'd be in the first place. It's
sure.
Prepping and planning, so try to sort of drip feed them information that is relevant to them. So yeah, build on what they know.
Cool. And you mentioned flexible dieting. So could you define what that means for everybody?
Flexible dieting. My understanding of flexible dieting, it can be diversified to suit the person. I mean, some people do flexible dieting. It just means if it fits your macros, they eat anything. They can eat like ice cream, and burgers, and sweets, and if it fits the macros, then it's all right because it fits your macros and it's flexible and all that. But it's not really the case. I mean, you need to be getting flexible. At least 80% of your food from good whole foods, and then the flexible part comes in that you can have a bit of pizza, you can have a burger, you can have chocolate, you still have these things, but you've got to take into consideration the calorie count. So I've tried to work on the basis of the calories in, calories out, without going too much into the different diets about flexible dieting, ketogenics, and all the different stuff like that. Just letting people know that they can still enjoy food. There's no foods that are off limits. There's no bad foods. Try to get people away from cheap meals and all that stuff, and just have an understanding about what they're eating and how it's going to benefit them, how it's going to help them, or how it's going to hold them back. So it's just about trying to get people to relax and not worry too much about the food choices, but focus on the quality of the food, how many calories are in it, and the effect that's going to have on them. And just try to think, more about portion sizes and things like that.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, so you mentioned kind of assessing a client and kind of focusing on those different areas. So if a new client is approaching you and saying, "Hey, I want to work with you," what kind of process do you go through to assess them and develop a program based on their goals?
So I have an assessment form that I'll send over to them online and the basic PAR-Q at the gym. I use a thing called Woofu, and it's just you set up your own little
survey software, right?
Yeah. So like you build a form and you can put your own questions in. So get their goals in place, find out what they want to achieve, again what they already know, medical conditions, allergies, that kind of stuff. Find out about their lifestyle and get an understanding about them and the way they're feeling. If there's any issues, any allergies, any things like that, and just trying to get an understanding about where they're at now and what we need to do to build on it or focus on. Any barriers they may be facing, to make sure that they're going to be aware of maybe evenings out or kids, or if they're cooking with a family, then they're generally, if it's a mother or father, then they're going to be snacking on the kids' food a lot and things like that, and just knowing where they're coming from. I'll do that, and then the rest of it really, the first week I'll try not to make it too heavy. I'll try not to put too much pressure on it all, just sort of get to know them and try and build rapport first, and get all the similarities and find out if there's anything you've got in common, and get them to know, like, and trust you first, and try to give them enough information that's going to demonstrate that you know at least a bit more than them, and you can help them take their knowledge to the next level and help them with their goals. So first week is really just getting to know them, and then that will sort of give me an idea about how focused they are, how serious they are, and what's going to be their biggest challenge. And that's going to highlight any problems in that first week. So that first week gives more of a chance to see what the best thing to focus is and how they're going to adhere to any plan that you give them.
So I'm actually curious. So what are some of the common issues that you see among the clients you work with in the UK? I'm curious because, I'm obviously from the States, and I'm wondering if there's a lot of differences between what might happen over here and what you see over there, and how you address those issues.
I jotted down there's three sort of main ones. A lot of the time is alcohol, how to manage that, weekends, eating out with friends and social events, and comfort eating. Comfort. I mean, there's lots of other issues that pop up, but they seem to be the main three. Alcohol always the biggest one, because getting people to, if they set their goals that really require, if they set a goal, say, I want to lose 10 kilos in the next 10 weeks or 12 weeks. I say, yeah, you can do that. It's possible, depending on their body composition and where they're at already. But, in order to be, if we can just aim to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, then the sacrifices they're going to need to make are going to have to be quite strict. They can't have crazy weekends the same as they normally used to if they go out every Friday night or Saturday night when it's the end of the week.
What it comes down to is that you're trying to break habits, really.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That is a whole separate area than nutrition is. So so you're basically working double duty there, which is pretty tough.
Yeah, I've got a little sort of mini course thing that I've put together, and I've done I think like 5 videos, and they're all sort of like little 3-4 minutes videos. One's on goal setting, one's on mindset, another one like 10 commandments. What else is there? Goal setting, mindset, and there's another 2. One's just a funny one about gym mistakes, and then there's another one there just based around habit changing and stuff like that. And that it highlights some stuff, but hopefully I say to people, if you go here, have a little look at the mindset video. There's a checklist sheet underneath the video. If you just fill that out, then you might see what your barriers are and think about how you can tackle them if they come up, and sort of give them some tools.
But you recently competed in a natural bodybuilding competition, and I'd love to know, what you did to prepare for that contest in terms of what you had to do with your nutrition and your training.
So the initial 12 weeks was based around just the same principles I sort of apply to clients or promote to people. It's just have protein with every meal. I wanted to be in a deficit, so I wanted to lose weight, so slight deficit, drinking enough water, staying away from any junk food, confectionery, pastries, all that stuff. So, I mean, my diet was really boring. Well, it wasn't boring, but it wasn't as varied if you're not trying to lose weight. And for me, if I was trying to lose weight, then it was important that first I hit my protein requirement, then hydration and training, of course, and then the fats and carbs. That's what I used in order to create the deficit to lose weight. So it's the same thing. Protein is always first. So I was aiming for maybe 2 grams per kilo, but it's just protein every meal, and I had about 4 or 5 meals a day. So it was the standard bodybuilder's diet. It was nothing exciting. It was just oats and banana and protein powder in the morning, sort of fish and vegetables for lunch, sweet potato, chicken and rice a couple of times with broccoli or asparagus or any kind of green vegetables, and then my my peri-workout, my pre-workout, during and post. So rice cakes and peanut butter, jam, that kind of thing. Protein shake and a banana after training, and then a solid meal within a couple of hours to replenish glycogen stores that would have burnt while I was training. It was a typical bodybuilder's diet in that first 12 weeks, and there was some flexibility. I mean, I've still got to the weekends, and if we want to go for a meal, then we go to somewhere like Nando's. It's still chicken and rice. It's not it's super strict, but it's fine. It's animal protein. It's fresh enough. It's not going to take me off track. I'm not like pizzas every night, So, and then the second 12 weeks, the second phase of it, was similar, but it got stricter. Then it was no weekends out, and not as many. Not as many Nando's and chocolate. I still have chocolate, but it was, if I had it, it's I shouldn't have done that. I've got a bodybuilding competition coming up.
Sure.
And it was just a men's physique, so it didn't need to be like super, super lean, but in order to even get to the men's physique, I had to be quite strict. So, it was just 12 weeks of being disciplined, drinking water, eating the food, not missing meals, not missing training, and just controlling the volume and intensity to suit the type of training I was doing. I didn't want to break down too much muscle tissue, so sort of periodized over the weeks. Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, you sent me that transformation photo, the before and after. Of you. I think it was just a picture you took probably at your office, and then you actually in the competition. And I mean, the differences are pretty pronounced. I'm wondering what percentage body fat were you at for the competition?
I didn't check it. I mean, a lot of time the body fat readings on the impedance machines or calipers, they're not always accurate, or you need to
Sure.
have it just alongside. So I was just going by. I looked in the mirror, but probably between 8 and 10, I believe. But that'd be a guess.
Fair
That'd be a
enough.
guess.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, it was a really cool transformation to see. But you did say something that I want to ask you a little bit more about. I mean, you've been emphasizing all throughout that process the hydration. I'd love for you to like talk a little bit more about how that might affect things.
I wrote a little blog on that this morning. Actually, 10 reasons why hydration is important. I'm just looking at it now.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Well, it wasn't much of a blog. It's just some key points, and I just wanted to get it out there because I was speaking to a client yesterday, and he asked me like, why is water important? And I said, well, it's just your body's like 75% water, and it's responsible for pretty much every process in the body. You really need it. So, mental focus, energy, helps weight loss, flush out toxins. Digestion, regularity, and it just helps pretty much all round. Improves the mood, and it's free. And
Yeah.
so it's a real common thing that people are trained with. They don't drink enough water, and it's like, to get them to drink at least 2 liters of water. They say, so how much water do you drink? So loads. I said, like I said to him yesterday, I said, so how much is that? And he pointed to a little bottle. He said, about 3 of them. It's only about 1 liter. I said, no, mate, you need a lot more than that because you're going to
Double
sweat
it.
a lot. You train in the gym, you're going to be losing a lot of that already. Your body needs it just to be alive and function, and you need it in your blood and everything. So in order for you to be able to perform in the gym as well, it's just really important. I mean, for your carbs, for instance, you've got 1 part carbohydrates and 3 parts water. So in order for sort of muscle size, muscle pump, and to avoid cramping and stuff like that as well, it's just really important. And yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't drink enough, so it's definitely something I need to work on. But we have some questions from our users that I wanted to kind of throw your way, see if you can get them some good advice. And you just touched on this, but how do carbs factor into muscle building? The advent of low carb diets like the ketogenic and like the ketogenic diet and paleo, they seem to want you to avoid carbs for the most part, but not necessarily around your workout. You mentioned peri-workout nutrition. So this guy is curious about what he can do, or like how to effectively use them around training and outside of training.
Right. I'd say that if you're on a really low carb diet, then and you're only on a minimal amount of carbs, then to have them around your training would be the most useful. Because the muscles are fueled by carbohydrates. So when you eat carbohydrates, they'll get turned to glucose and get turned to a thing called glycogen, and then stored in the muscle. And that's your primary source of energy and primary source of fuel. So if you're really low on that, then energy can suffer, muscle rebuilding and strength gaining can suffer. So low carb diets, you'll still be able to generate some strength and power, but from my understanding and what I've learned about is that you need carbohydrates in order to optimize muscle building and strength gains. Alternatively, your body will go over to a complicated process of, I think, you start to use fats for energy and ketones and stuff like that. But from what I've seen, people on the ketone diet or ketogenic diet, their strength has dropped and they've lost a lot of weight, and it's great for losing fat, but their strength drops, and it's not optimal for muscle building, from my understanding.
Got it. Cool. So let's see. Here's a good one. So with the holiday season coming up, what are some of your best tips or habits, or to stay on track during parties and gatherings where we're basically surrounded by unhealthy foods and drinks and social pressure to eat too much?
Yeah, this is a burning question. I think if you could get an easy answer to this one, you'd be very popular.
Yeah, I bet.
But I think it depends. I know what I think. It depends on what your goals are, why you want to achieve the goals, and how much you want to achieve them. Because temptations like that, particularly if it's a party and you've had a couple of Prosecco's or a glass of wine or some alcohol, then you can go in with the best intentions, but then after you've had a couple of drinks, then your resolve and desire to not eat unhealthy food is going to drop a little bit, isn't it? So I think there's ways that you can go about trying to save up the calories. So I try to give the best advice to people in terms of being prepared for an event. So if you know, or if somebody knows that they're going to be eating lots of food or they're going to be drinking lots of alcohol later on in the evening, then one thing they can do, I mean, it's going to be difficult to optimize it, but you can sort of save your calories. If you base your day on the calories in, calories out. So if your body needs 1,800 calories a day or 2,500, whatever it may be, then that amount of calories is going to be your maintenance level. So if you dropped out lunch, for instance, or you saved the carbs from lunch, or you didn't have the oats in the morning, so had like a banana and some eggs, or whatever your diet plan is for that day, if you save some of the carbs from earlier, then you can make up for that a bit later. So you're not going to go too far over your daily requirement. I think it's understanding what a deficit is and a surplus. So you eat more calories than your body needs, then you're going to gain weight. If you're trying to lose weight, then you need to sort of understand that if you can keep the calories as low as you can before your party, then that may help you control it, because it's not just on the day. I think from my understand is that, you know, it's over like the week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. So if you put it into a week and you base your total calorie requirement over that whole week, then on one particular day, if it's a party and you have a high calorie day, then you can sort of work on either side of those as well. So you can have a little bit of a lower calorie day one day, lower calorie day on the other day, the day after, high calorie day that day, because you know you might have access to cakes and a meal out or whatever, and then you'll sort of balance it out a little bit. What I would say to people is if you can just hit your protein requirement first and just focus on that, and then try to save some calories by not having so many carbs and fats, at least that will help towards controlling the amount of calories you eat. But protein is always the most important macronutrient to maintain your body's cell maintenance, everything in the body that you need.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I've tried the opposite, almost the opposite of that particular strategy. If I knew that I was going out to a party, around the holidays, and I'm getting ready to do that now, I will actually have a good healthy meal right before I go to the party, where I know there's going to be a lot of food, because eating right beforehand I'm obviously not hungry, and I can actually exercise my willpower a little bit better. Doesn't always go the way I planned, but if I go to a party hungry and there's really not a lot of good food choices there to begin with, I'm in trouble. I know from experience that's not good for me.
Perfect.
So, kind of related to that, do you have any kind of recommendations for ways for people to stay on track with their goals during times that they don't necessarily have access to a gym or access to food? They have lulls in activity. They might be traveling, they might be who knows what, but they don't have that access to what might be their normal routine. Right.
I think with that, again, probably come back to hydration, drink plenty of water so you're not getting too hungry, and being prepared and try and making a bit of an effort to take foods with you that will still be low in calories but fill you up, and try to take some healthy snacks with you along the way if you know that you're not going to have access to it.
Right.
Preparation, I think, is key there.
How do you stay motivated and not let the kind of negative judgments kind of get into your head when you first go back to the gym, or when you're continuing to try to reach your goals?
Just remember why you're there. Have your strong enough goal. Make sure that the reason you're doing it is always at the forefront of your mind, and just stay focused on what you want to achieve and track your progress. Make sure that you're keeping track of what you're doing and celebrating the wins and treating yourself. And if it's going to be a lifestyle change, then add to it, and rather than just going to the gym, sort of get out, go to different places, go and visit places, do something new with the family, or take your kids out to the park, and just make your life different. And I think once you get into training, then more endorphin, you start to feel good about yourself, and those things won't matter. I mean, just get into a training program. When you start seeing progress, 2, 4, 6 weeks, then you start to feel like a different person. Then everything becomes upregulated, and then those things hopefully they don't matter, and you can see the strength and power in what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. So, Francis, tell everyone a little bit about where they can find out more about you, what you're doing. If they want to work with you, how can they reach out? Anything like that.
I've got a blogging site, thebodyfitgymbody.com. Yeah, everything's there. Send me a message, check out some videos, some free downloads. I've put different things on there. There's different ebooks and stuff that's available for free. And yeah, send me a message if there's any questions or anything you want me to cover, or is anything else I can help with related to the type of stuff I do. Then yeah, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll do what I can.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll post this up on YouTube shortly. Take care.